And then I'll go to Lori next.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lori Friedman, and I'm with Family Financial Management, and I am here to answer your questions about anything financial and your clients' questions about anything financial. So give me a call. Thanks. I'm here to help. Thanks, Megan.
Awesome. Thank you, Lori. And if you guys can go ahead and put your information in the chat, just for all those that are new, even those who are reoccurring, so that people can connect with you. Make sure we also have your right information. So next I'll go to Danny. Oh, you're on mute, sir.
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Danny Lansdale. I'm the founder of Standing United, and I have COVID. Today's my last day of quarantine. Otherwise, I'd be there in person, but I feel fine. And what Standing United is, we help people struggling with homelessness and addiction. We take people, our motto is we take people from zero to hero. We take care of everything. We'll get them into treatment. We'll get them into detoxes. We'll, after they get through with that, we have a lot of people that we work with for job opportunities and also sober livings or halfway houses. We just take care of their needs so that until they get on their feet. And that's what we do. And I love what we do. And that's it for me. Thank you, Megan.
Awesome. Thank you, Danny. I'm glad that you could still join us.
Me too.
And I'm glad that you're feeling okay.
Thanks.
Despite having COVID. I think it's all happened to most of us. So unfortunately, whether vaccinated or not. Lisa Tafua.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Tafua from Orange County Probation. I'm getting fixed up. Hi. Good to see you. Good to see everybody. I'm adult field reentry officer here in Santa Ana. And I always tell Megan, but I love this meeting. I learned so much every month. So thanks everyone for being here.
Awesome. Thank you for coming. I will go to Agent Sabota.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Oh, it's so nice to see Lisa with you. I can't wait to hear her later at the meeting. I am adult parole for Orange County, also reentry services and all things reentry. Glad to be here this morning. I will put my information in the chat. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, Jennifer. I know you're multitasking right now, so I appreciate you joining us. And you did an amazing job along with all the different organizations and people that came together, a lot of whom are on this meeting, putting on that first ever Orange County Women's Freedom Festival. So I want to give it like a round of applause to you on that. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Melody.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good.
I'm Melody Cantrell with the Sheriff's Department, and I work over here at Theo Lacey, and I supervise different rehabilitation and reentry programs for the individuals housed here.
Awesome. Thank you, Melody. And Melody's really been, outside of Dominic and, Assistant Sheriff Balecki, she's really been the one that's helping us now with CAP and being able to go inside. So Melody, I really appreciate you and all that we're doing in collaboration. So thank you so much. Irv.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. My name is Irv Lova, and I'm the program coordinator for HIRE. HIRE is a hub for integration, reentry, and employment. We provide direct referrals for employment for people coming back from incarceration. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Irv. Okay. Leah.
Getting over a little cold here, but my name is Leah. I'm with the Priority Center. Two of my coworkers are also going to be in this meeting, and we are just going to be both case managers for the program.
Awesome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Giselle.
Hi there, guys. My name is Giselle, and I'm the intake coordinator for the Salvation Army Adult Rehab Center in Anaheim. We are a residential rehab 6 months to a year, providing free services for individuals who are interested in finding sobriety. So please reach out to me. My contact will be in the chat and I can give some more details if you guys would like so, okay? Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Giselle. Dominic.
Good morning, everyone. Dominic Mexico, Orange County Sheriff's Department. Work with Melody, and we've been working with Megan on the lived experience program. We're excited it finally got started, and we're just excited to see how it grows and continues to help people in custody.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you again, Dominic, for all the collaboration. I know it took a lot to get this going and was long awaited. So I really appreciate you as well. So thank you. Ms. Perez, I know you just joined us. So I see you just popped up on my screen. So I'm going to go to you next.
Thank you, Megan. Good morning, everyone. I'm Janita Perez with Moms Orange County. At Moms, we serve parents that are expecting a baby. So we serve them by providing one-on-one case management, education, and resources. And we just added a class for men, English for English speaking. And basically this class is to provide support when they're feeling anxiety, depression, or anything going on with life right now, with grief or anything. So and any parent can join that class. So whether they have a baby or not, they can come to that class. So please reach out if they need help, and we'll be happy to assist them with that. I'll go ahead and share my information in the chat. Thank you, Megan. Again, have a great day, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And that's super exciting about adding that additional class. So thank you. Adriana.
Hi, everyone. I'm Adriana Garcia. I'm with the Priority Center. I'm an outreach and engagement specialist. Essentially, what our program does is we offer short-term counseling services as well as short-term case management. So let's say somebody needs like food assistance or rent assistance, we can provide services to help with that.
Awesome. Thank you. Viviana.
Hi, so that was my coworker. I'm also from the Priority Center. I'm a case manager there at the Outreach and Engagement Program. We also provide educational workshops on different topics and then provide one-on-one skill building and, like she said, short-term counseling and case management around mental and emotional health. Anybody over the age of 8 years old, and we serve Central Orange County.
And thank you. And can you guys, put some of the flyers, or if anybody has any flyers for any upcoming events, please put that in the chat so that I can send it out. And always feel free to send those to me so that I can make sure that it gets posted on our social media and shared within our network. So thank you. Agent Talwar.
Good morning, everybody. Raj Talwar, Pro Administrator for the Division of Adult Parole Operations in Orange County. Pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Let me go to who haven't I called on? Manny.
Hello, my name is Manny Sandhu. I work for CDCR, and today I'll be working alongside Kelly Shaw and Jeffrey Hammond to present the arcade program.
Awesome. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
Jeff?
Thanks, Megan. My name's Jeff Hammond. I'm with CDCR as well. I oversee the portfolio section within Division of Rehabilitative Programs. And Arcade is underneath the portfolio section. And we have two great presenters here today with Manny as well as Kelly to present the Arcade system to you.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. I look forward to your presentation coming up.
Thank you.
Let's see, Kevin.
My name is Kevin. Those are on the outreach assistance. We are hope builders, just providing young adults of ages 18 to 28 to career opportunities. Yeah, that's all.
Awesome. You were a little low, a little hard to hear you, but you're with Hope Builders. I don't know, maybe you want to try it again?
Yeah, can you hear me better?
Kind of low still. Maybe you've got something in front of your microphone. It's okay. I'll circle back to you. But thanks, Kevin. Thanks for being here. You're doing great work with Hope Builders. So thank you. Jenilyn.
Hi, Hi, everyone. Jenilyn Santos with Chrysalis. We're a nonprofit agency that helps individuals adjust their barriers to employment through one-on-one support and resources. I see a lot of familiar names and faces on here, so I'm not going to go through my regular spiel. But we do have a new roads flyer, so I'll share that in the chat with you all. So thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, Jenilyn. I like your new background.
Yeah, I'm in the office. I'm just kidding.
Let's go to Christopher. He's the San Fernando CAP chair. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Hi, everyone. My name is Christopher, Program Coordinator for Touchdown Treatment Centers for the RICMS, or Reentry Intensive Case Management Services, and Spot 2 and 8, and CalCRG, California Community Reinvestment Grant, and Spot 2. And I'm really just here to learn about today's presentation on Arcade. And thank you for having me, Megan. It's nice to be here on a closing on the end of the year chapter meeting.
Yes, awesome. Thank you for being here. Let me go to, I see Rita just joined us. Welcome, Rita.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Good to see everyone.
Good. Well, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joanne Lozano. I'll circle back to you. Miriam.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Mariam with Anaheim Workforce Connection. We still have the P2E grant. We have been getting a lot more people coming in. So thank you so much, Megan, for your help. We've been getting a lot more people coming in. We do have exciting things going on with Chrysalis as well, and the roads program through our OJT. So if you have anyone interested in being part of working with us, please feel free to send them over to me, and I'll go ahead and drop my information in the chat box. Thank you so much.
Awesome, thank you. I don't want to butcher that name. Sharzad.
Good morning, everyone. Sharzad Najarzadeh here. I'm also with our amazing Arcade team and support, so can't wait.
Awesome, thank you. Let me see who else. Kelly.
Hi, good morning. Hey, I'm with Arcade also. I'll be doing the first part of our presentation. And after seeing all the great providers here, I'm really excited to tell you all about it because it sounds like everybody can benefit. So I'll see you all in a little bit.
Awesome, thank you. Let's see. Nazi. Thank you, Nazi.
Better.
Let me see who else. Make sure I got everyone besides Miss Lisa here. I think, did I not call on anyone? I think I got everyone. All right. So I think I called on everyone. So thank you so much. So we are going to, move on to Miss Lisa here. I'm super excited, as I said, is that Jennifer Sabota is the one that referred her to me. And I did meet her when I was at the Freedom Festival. We didn't get a chance to talk, but I'm very excited to hear her story. She told me a little bit what she was doing prior to beginning the meeting. So thank you so much, Lisa, for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. So first of all, I just want to say how grateful I am just to be here and hearing the introductions that you all gave just right now. It didn't help my nervousness because I was like, oh yeah, this is the moment you've been waiting for since you've been incarcerated, to be able to sit on a panel just like this to state the needs of those from a community that means so very much to me. So it's an honor to be here this morning. I'm not here with eloquence or a desire to wow or impress. I'm here to share my story in the hopes that it will help someone to connect to my path of freedom. On the morning of January 26, 2020, I woke up at 5 a.m. I had only 3 hours of sleep. My clothes were laid out, my bags were packed, and my mind was going a mile a minute. That day, I had waited for 3,731 days. That day had finally come. That day was the day I paroled from prison. But in order to tell this story, I have to go back a little bit. I grew up in a typical Samoan home. My parents were immigrants to the United States, and they worked very hard to provide for me and my siblings. My rich Samoan upbringing taught me that family is everything and God is over everything else and over us all. But respect for elders is instilled in all of us children. There was little to show an impressionable child that it was okay to talk about emotions or talk about trauma or even ask for help, especially. It was a sign of weakness. It wasn't the Samoan way. So 31 years ago, I stood on a stage in front of my high school graduating class as the senior class president. I was an honor student with a scholarship for academics to USC. I also had an opportunity to go to Japan for international studies. I had plans one day to become a criminal defense attorney, but I guess there are other plans in my future. I would be involved with the justice system in a very different way, and it would be paved with much pain and much suffering for myself and my family. Fast forward to 2003. I'm a mother of 6 children. Had a very busy 10 years. I was about to celebrate my 13th year of marriage. And my husband and I served as youth pastors, and also I was a worship leader. We had plans to become homeowners within 3 years. I thought that we were headed in the right direction as a family. But on one Sunday morning in 2003, as I scrambled to prepare my children for church, my husband sat me down and spoke 4 devastating words: "We need to talk." He revealed a very devastating secret that sent me down a very destructive path. And this secret he had kept from me for 10 years. I never saw it coming. I was not equipped with the coping skills to deal with it. I was raised not to be able to ask for help, so therefore I didn't ask for help. My pride would not allow me. It was in that one moment of impact that my whole world became shattered. From that moment on, I began to make a series of decisions filled with anger, rage, self-righteous indignation, because he was wrong and I was always right. I left my home with my 6 children to sort things out. And I began to make decisions that made a bad situation 1,000 times worse. In December of 2003, I was approved for a job transfer from LA County to San Diego County. I took my children with me and left the only city and community I have ever known to begin again. I told myself, I don't need him. I could do it all on my own. And I recognize now that at the time I was full of emotion, and that's no condition mentally or emotionally to be making decisions. The drive to San Diego with my children on that day was during the Cedar Fire in 2003. I literally drove through an active fire on both sides of the 15 freeway. The sky was red and there was ash falling everywhere. I looked into the rearview mirror as I'm literally driving through what appeared to me to be literally hell. And I looked at my babies in the back seat as they were sound asleep. And tears started streaming down my face because I felt like I was making a huge mistake, but my pride would not let me turn back. I drove on to our new home in our new city, in the city of Imperial Beach. I literally ran away to the southernmost city in the United States, so the sign said. Immediately, I made all the wrong decisions. I jumped into a relationship right away. I threw myself into my work. However, my 13-year career ended in a rear-end collision while on duty. I was a technician for major banking institutions as an ATM and safe and vault technician. The last 3 discs of my spine were crushed, and I lost 30% of mobility on my left side. I still have a little bit of a limp from it. But shortly after my accident, I was fired on a paperwork technicality. And that hit was very devastating for me. Excuse me. Um, I ended up getting a addiction to pain medication, and that addiction to pain medication gave way to an addiction to methamphetamines. I would leave my kids with my boyfriend and parents and party all night long. The more I was in the scene, the more I became, my life became chaotic and dark. One night in a bar, our band sang our last set and a man bought me a drink. And I downed that drink within minutes, and within minutes, he had my keys and was putting me into my own car and driving me to a secondary location that law enforcement always tells people, don't ever go to the secondary location. Yet I found myself there. All I remember were flashes of faces above me. And I was found by a friend in a restroom, hotel, bloody and barely conscious. I went home, did not file charges, did not ask for help, did not seek counseling, and I acted like nothing happened. And it was easy to do because I was barely coherent during the attack. This sent me even more down a path of destruction. I began to use more meth. I closed out my 401k. I took $10,000 and became a dope dealer down in San Diego. My family knew that I was in no condition to take care of my kids, so they made arrangements for their father to come and take them from me. But I gladly gave them over because I knew I was not well. That was one of the saddest days of my life. Once the kids were gone, it was no holds barred. But I'm gonna spare you the details of what comes next. It's all pretty textbook. Stay high at all costs while putting your life in danger, praying to die, but continue to live every day in a miserable existence. I was also physically and brutally attacked and robbed in a hotel room and beat until I was bloodied and unrecognizable. I was reduced to nothing just that quick, and my enemies were getting the best of me. At this stage of my drug use, the sickness had me boosting and prostituting until the day I met him. With him, I wasn't alone in the streets anymore. Our love was chaotic, it was violent and abusive, but it was all I had. I had nothing. When I could not take it anymore, I tried to leave him, and he held a gun to my head. And that night we began a string of 7 armed robberies. And by we, I mean me. He stayed in the car because I'm so loyal, and by loyal, I mean dumb. On November 8, 2009, we were arrested on 13 felony counts. It was very sobering sitting in that holding tank for the first time. I hadn't had a sobering moment for like 5 years. I hadn't even so much had a traffic ticket prior to that. And the moment when I had to strip out for the first time, it became very apparent that my life was no longer my own. I woke when I was told, I ate when I was told, I wore whatever they told me to wear, no matter how many people had worn it before me. I fought my case and I was given a sentence of 15 years and 4 months. Once I got upstate, it took me several years before I realized that I didn't want to live my life this way anymore. However, I still popped pills and still drank manufactured alcohol. I could say that now without getting a write-up. So from December 2010, when my prison term began, to 2012, things had changed. I made a decision that I didn't want to just exist in prison anymore. I knew that I wanted to live. So I reached out for help. A ministry of women called Kairos came in, and they began to partner up with me and began to help rebuild me up and help to mold me. And I was invited to a 4-day retreat that happened in prison. Danny's nodding. And it was a 4-day retreat, and it changed my life. For so many years, I hadn't been hugged with love like that ever. And when it happened, when I walked into that gym to see 50 women who took their whole weekend to spend with someone like me, and they put their arms around me, that was the first hug I had gotten, I don't even know how long. And I just broke. And that was the first show of like that agape love. And on that day, I surrendered my life to the care and control of my higher power, and that's Jesus Christ. I realized that none of what I had been through was about me. It was about a plan and a bigger purpose for my life. These women played a huge part in my recovery process. And I ended up joining Celebrate Recovery, because now that I was clean, it was time to get sober. And so I started to work on sobriety. And I'm so happy to be able to say that in February, I'll be 9 years clean and declaring victory over methamphetamines and controlled substances. And it makes me feel so good to be able to stand here in front of you and be able to say that. Thank you. So in my last year of custody, oh wait, hold on. I'm missing a very important part. So I decided that I was gonna be, to not just exist in prison, I was gonna start living. So I decided that I was gonna bloom where I was planted. And I began to invest in the community of women that I lived amongst every day. And I let go of all control of the things on the outside of those walls. I slept well every night. I woke up with joy. I began to work on myself and learn about the core issues of codependency, distorted thinking, and irrational expectations that I had on myself and others. I did so much to add to the value of my life while I was in. I learned how to make dentures. As a matter of fact, I'm still wearing the partial that I made in prison. I learned how to weld. I know I'm badass. Metal fabricate, build electrical paneling. I even earned my AA in sociology and studied for 4 years American Sign Language to become an interpreter. I became a woman of prayer who began to pray that one day I would have a relationship with my children. And that was a very dangerous emotion to have, because I trained myself not to want the thing I wanted most in order to get through prison, which is my kids. But now when you're to the gate, I was allowing myself to want that again. And so in my last year of custody, slowly my family began to contact me. And I was blessed to be able to go home to a family on January 26, 2020. I was released from prison 3,731 days after my arrest. I've been home for 22 months. And since I've been home, I was been able to purchase my own vehicle, live on my own. I'm currently a senior at Cal State University Fullerton, majoring in human services. I will continue to earn my master's degree in social work administration. And I'm currently working as a behavioral technician at Hotel California by the Sea, a drug and alcohol treatment facility in Huntington Beach. My target population is the reentry population. My lived experience will not allow me to do anything else, because I left and I left so many behind. And I want the people that I left behind to be able to be in contact with the wonderful people that are on this panel, and have those resources streamlined to them where they don't have to dig and they don't have to search, and that it's ready for them at the gate, ready for them before the gate. Like all of these wonderful organizations, they do not know about while they're in. They don't have that hope. They come out and they know nothing but worry and thoughts of going back. That's all they know. I can see how beneficial it was for everything that I've gone through. I know today that I don't have to be ashamed of where I've been, because I know exactly where I'm going today. And I'm so honored to be able to sit on this panel with you and be able to speak as a voice of lived experience for all of the reentry community. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my story.
That's so beautiful. Start crying. Thank you so much for sharing your amazing, incredible, very articulate story of how you became, just as impacted. And I think, like you said, your story is has some similarities to, some other people, and it's typically addiction, right? Addiction is a huge part of that. So, so yeah, does anybody have any questions? Kudos. I'm sure Danny, I saw him nodding his head a lot.
Me and Danny, we're bros. Hey, Lisa, you're freaking beautiful and amazing. And thank you so much for that, because it's my story too, you know, in and out of prison, just running amok, and just, you know, what a testament that we can change, and it doesn't have to be a rap. And yeah, I did Kairos too. And they're just amazing people going back into the prisons and wrapping their arms around us and letting them know that somebody cares. And that's what we do here. You know, we're working on going back into the jails, and we're wrapping our arms around people and letting them know that it's not a rap. You know, man, that their life can change. And you're just a humongous, just your testimony of transformation and hope. And just, you know, you got me choked up.
Thanks, bro.
So rad. Super rad.
I can't wait to go back into the prison. That day's going to be a very, very emotional day for me, but I long for it.
It's a spiritual experience. I've gone back into the prisons and standing on a yard from a prison that I didn't time at and carrying a message of hope. It's mind blowing. You know, we could change. And you're just obviously just, God, I don't even know you, and I love you.
I want that day more than anything. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you. Super rad.
Jennifer?
Hey, Lisa. Thank
Hi,
you so much
Lisa.
for sharing this morning. I just want to let everyone know, I know a lot of people on this call already know that Lisa was responsible for us getting the Freedom Festival started this year. That was really her brainchild. And that hugely successful event that we all did together, based upon your idea and your motivation, to me is just the tip of the iceberg for you. And I feel like I'm just going to be able to say, I knew her when, you know, I knew her when, because you're going to do so many amazing things in life. It's remarkable the things you've already done after just being out such a short time. It's an honor to know you. It's an honor to work with you. I hope you'll do me the honor of collaborating with you for all these things that you're going to do in the future, just so I can brag on it, you know?
Oh gosh, you don't even know, Agent S, how much we are sisters from another mister for sure. We have a bonded heart, and I'm so appreciative to have been able to collaborate with you on the Freedom Fest. You basically took a dream that I had and being able to have an event like that, and you said yes immediately. You did not wait. And we need more people like you, Agent S, because people like you change the world, and I'm grateful.
Well, you're the vessel, Lisa. I'm going to just put it all back on you. It was lovely working with you. I will, just like you said to me, whatever you ask of me, I will say yes to. And let me just leave it at that. Much love to you.
Much love. Freedom Fest 2022 is in the works.
Yes.
Awesome. Lisa, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm so impressed, Lisa. I met you at the Freedom Festival for the first time. You just have one of those personalities where it felt like I've known you forever. I just met you. I also had not knowing your whole story, what you just shared now, and I got to meet some of your family, and you would have never known that there was all those years that you didn't have a relationship with them. You couldn't tell it. You have come out and just really made so much of your experiences, and have given back already in this short time to the community and your family. And I'm just impressed. Just one thing that you said that really kind of stuck with me is some of the struggle at the beginning of, before you totally went off the deep end for a minute, was the cultural, you know, how you were raised, and those cultural differences that you carried with you, and you weren't able to ask for help. And I find myself working with this reentry population, with people from a lot of different cultures, and trying to connect them with people that they can relate to in the community. Yes. And I see that, it just really resonated with me, that part of your story. And I don't want to ask too much of an open-ended question, but in my role working with them coming out of jail, is there like some piece of advice that you could help me share with them?
Most definitely is, if you can just get them to actually be able to articulate or even state like where they came from. And I believe that every person has that thing in them that wants to tell their story, but nobody ever asks.
Yeah.
So just giving them that safe space to be able to share that, and know that it's not going to come back on them, you know, in any kind of way with judgment, you know, to be able to share, because a lot of that, unfortunately, is sexual abuse in the home, is physical abuse in the home, to parents that they're very much still to this day, even if they're dead and or alive, very much loyal to, and they feel that disloyalty for even speaking on it, even if they're long past. And being able to give them that permission, like, you have permission to speak this truth that happened to you, because it's only by through that you're going to be liberated and free, truly free. It wasn't until I began to work on myself in these self-help groups in prison, nobody coming for me through them walls, I could speak my truth and know that I wasn't going to be judged, and I was safe. You know, I was safe to say what happened to me as I was growing up. And so that's my suggestion.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing.
Lori, and then I'll get to you, Christopher.
Lisa, you did amazing. You should be very proud of yourself, and congratulations. You did a great job.
Thank you, Ms. Lori.
Thank you, Lori. Christopher.
Hi, Lori. I mean, Lisa, I'm just, you know, it was very heartfelt, you know, story. I'm with Danny, very similar, you know, right up our alley. You know, as someone from the community, it's a huge impact, you know, it's a huge impact been able to make a 360 and still being able to give back to your community despite all these challenges that you know you had to go through. So with that, they're going to continue being there. You know, they're going to continue being there. I'm sure Danny, you know, and anyone else with lived experience could share that. Challenges will continue to be there, you know. And with that, I just want to say you're a champion. You know, you're a champion. Just remember that in the toughest times, just remember all these trials and tribulations. They're just challenges, you know. It wouldn't be life if we don't have challenges, right? But yeah, just keep pushing, and you know, don't forget where you come from. You know,
Never.
Is a true testimony of you remembering where you come from, right? And you're a real testimony of what the community is and what we're capable of, you know, doing in our communities. So I just want to commend you, and you know, you did great today. So don't feel that you know your anxiety might have kicked in. You did great. You did great. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Very well said. Joanne.
Hello, everyone. I'm back. Wanted to, Lisa, it was a pleasure working with you at the Freedom Festival. You are an amazing woman. Much respect. Even more so after hearing your story. Oh my goodness. Just so heartfelt. And everyone that was around you at the Freedom Festival was amazing as well. You did an outstanding job at the Freedom Festival, and I look forward to hopefully working with you again. I'm sure me and Lisa Tafua are all over it. And again, it was a pleasure meeting you, and amazing to hear your story. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joanne. And again, everybody, like, very well said. You know,
yes, thank you.
Your story is, and what you're doing now is a testament to what someone with lived experience can do, and you can do more good than anything else now since you've had that experience, and you're leveraging, you're learning, and you're trying to implement, which is all that you can do. I always like to say, if you're giving back, you're not going to go back, and you're definitely, like a lot of other people here in this meeting, and they know that, so that kind of help keeps us going, right? So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can I say something?
Yeah, of course, Rita.
Hey, Lisa and everyone, I just wanted to compliment you. You're such a well-versed speaker. And what I believe that emotion does is identify and separate you from being part of an image or an ideology about what women or people who go to prison are, and it identifies who you are. And then because I, even as a writer, I always work from who, what, where, when, why, and how. And when you're able to convey that in such a strong message, then the people understand that you are an individual, that you are Lisa. You're not just a number. You're not just a statistic. And the way in which you told your story still has me teary-eyed, because it impacts me on a personal level. It makes me want to embrace you, makes me want to wish that I was there for you when you had nobody. So keep telling that story, because it's very important that people understand who a person is, what their situation is, how it occurred, and how we move forward. Those, you answered all of that as though you had been professionally trained as an actress or somebody that is trained to invoke emotions to make people feel that connection to you. And whereby feeling the connection to you, they understand that this is the plight of so many different people. And it invokes in you a spirit, if you have a conscience or a soul at all, that you want to get involved and you want to help people. So keep telling your story.
Wow.
I found you amazing. You're an amazing young woman, and I just would like to keep in touch with you and be
Yes,
part of
please.
the journey. And just like you said, to say to someone, you know, I actually knew her. I actually have done something with her, because this is going to help a lot of people like us that are re-entering society and trying to be made whole again.
Thank you. Very well said,
Thank you
Ray.
so much, Rita. I appreciate you.
Make sure you put your information in the chat so that you guys can connect.
Yes.
Thank
You know, I do not know how to do that, Megan. You're going to have to teach me how to. I'm just the old hag in the committee. So, I mean, you know,
No.
but
I have your cell phone.
Hey,
I have
I'll
your
get
cell phone, so I'll give it to you.
Yeah, there you go.
and that's
You'll
my
do it,
son
Danny?
there. That's
Yeah,
my son
I
there.
can do it too.
Danny knows how to share everything.
Yeah.
I'm Danny's mama. That's my baby.
You are. I love you.
I love
Thank
you more. But this collaboration of people, this is important, because
It's so important.
I'm relatively new to the criminal justice reform. Even though I've been out of prison for a while, I had no idea all these resources were available until I hooked up with Danny, and then Danny put me in touch with Megan. And it's just so important, because it's going to take the collaboration of all of these different organizations so that we make a mark on society, and start to change the way that formerly incarcerated people are resentenced again by society. So it's like you're never ever can be made whole as long as society keeps. We don't even need the government to do it. All we have to do is to convince corporations to take that off of their application, wherein a person qualifies in every other way. That should not be another sentence on them. They should be able, if they qualify for the job. Same thing with school applications, same thing with applying for properties. Society can do that. We don't have to wait for governmental or justice systems to do it. And I think that that's one of the things that telling stories like this, and these corporations can identify, well, wow, this person is positive, because really when people are given a chance to re-enter society and really rebuild their lives, they become better at what they're doing than other people who never took their freedom, who took their freedom for granted. Once it's taken away from you, it means a lot that you restore your dignity in that respect. Okay, so that's it for me.
Love you.
Very well said.
Love you too.
Very well said.
Thank you, Rita.
Thank you. Okay, so we all know how great Lisa is.
Thank you guys. And you guys are great. I feel great.
So I'm going to stop sharing my screen because Arcade is next. So Jeff and Kelly, you should now have permission to share your screen to begin your wonderful presentation.
Well, thank you, Megan. And wow, is that a hard act to follow? We really appreciate hearing from a from my standpoint with working with the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation and working in Department of Rehabilitation, it's really good to hear stories like this. And I truly believe it's amazing to actually be invited and to be able to present and be able to be part of this group. And really, thank you, Megan. Again, we're in Sacramento. I'm a bureaucrat for the most part. I feel that we do try to produce good things out there that can help people and help provide resources. And I think we are talking to the right group here. I really do. I think it's a good conduit of Lisa's story, of her amazing path, and being able to now talk to you about how we have developed a tool that will be able to connect resources to people like Lisa and other justice involved people that are in the institution as well as in parole or on probation. So we have developed a tool over the last couple of years, and to tell you the truth, it's been like 6 years. Been working on this, and we've gone through some multiple iterations of Arcade system, and we're at a point now where we're really confident that pushing it forward and getting out there and marketing the tool. And that's really what we're doing right now is we're marketing the tool to try to reach out to your folks out there, the people on the streets that are providing the services or just that are available. And this is an invite for all of you to be involved, as well as anybody else you can reach out to. I think, Megan, you had an original presentation from Kelly, and I so appreciate you inviting us to do it to this group as well, because this is definitely what we want to do. It's word of mouth, and that's really how we have to do it. So the Arcade system, it's the automated rehabilitation catalog and information discovery. And I do have to look at that to read that out. It is a full, it's just a large top, or I don't know, what am I trying to say? But it is a system out there that will help, again, justice involved connect with community services out there, as well as jobs. So there's a job section, there's community section, and then there's also Manny is going to present on it's called the portal. And the portal is where we're going to invite service providers in to actually be involved and show they can get their information in the Arcade system. So it's not just CDCR putting out resources. Really, we want everybody in our communities to join in, get access, and develop their own sort of page in Arcade. And I'll let Kelly and Manny go into the specifics of that. So it is a free tool. It's free to everyone. It's free to service providers. It's free to all the justice involved. It's free. We've developed this. We're making it available as a tool. We're not replacing anything. We're helping people. So we don't want it to be like, hey, you have to use this. We want to invite people to be able to use it as a resource. That being said, we did use a compass to feed the system with about 4,000 to 5,000 service providers out there. DAPO is our parole, developed a sort of a community resource database, and we've uploaded this into the Arcade system. Now, that being said, we really need a lot more providers to come in. I feel like there's some big gaps in there. Definitely this group here would be perfect for it. Now, that being said, I don't want to take the shine away from Kelly and Manny. Just want to do a quick lead in. Thank you for the opportunity to present, and we appreciate it, and would love to do these more and more on a weekly basis. And Kelly, thank you, Kelly, for reaching out and doing this as well.
Sure.
Right.
Thanks, Jeff.
And then I'll let Kelly take it from here.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Wow, Lisa, I don't know what I expected this morning, but I did not expect that, girl. All right, and Megan, thank you for having us. I'm going to share my screen, and what I'm going to walk you through is the user's interface, meaning everybody with an active CDCR number already has access. They don't have to request an account. Okay, so that's real important to know that they can just immediately start using it. So I'm going to share screen real quick. I am not tech savvy, so bear with me 1 second. Okay, and please let me know when you are seeing the arcade login. Yeah, okay, great. So you guys, as soon as they log into this, and what I'm showing you is the live site. This is not a template that we play with. This is actually what happens. So you go to this URL, and we're gonna put in the chat box all of these logins and sites. So you don't need to write anything down. And we also have step-by-step instructions. So if you want to create your page or use this, Manny will put in the chat box how to contact us, and we can send you step-by-step instructions for both the user side and the portal side, right? Entering your own information. So as soon as we log in, it immediately gets started. Choose your stronger language. I'll choose English. These are our terms and conditions. And this is where they're going to enter their CDCR number and their corresponding birth date. So they need to use their real birth date. Log in, and that immediately takes us to a starting address. Now they can use a permanent address that they have, or the address that they are currently staying. If they don't have anything permanent, they can use their local probation or parole office. So they have that option. I'll use our home office. And this pulls from Google, Google Maps. Here we go. I'm going to use this address. And the reason I'm using this address is because we also have a feature in here that radiates out, and it'll show the mileage from a starting point. But you can change this address at any time during the process. Okay, so here's our landing page. We have 2 pages of categories, and think of this kind of like a funnel. So these first categories, that's the broad topic, and then it goes down. So we have community resources, and we'll take a peek into each of these. Government services, health, rehab programs, what's new, forms and documents, and my favorite one, find jobs. So let's drill down a little bit into these. So under community resources, for example, we have subcategories of activities, emergency employment, family services, female specific services. Now this is really great because their CDCR number also identifies them as male or female. And if a male clicks in female services, they won't be able to see where these locations are, right, for privacy and security. So they get vetted out. This really is female services, female only for security and safety. Next page goes on. You can see there's quite a few topics. I'm going to go back one and just kind of show you how this works now. So let's say I'm looking for something under everyday needs. We'll click in here, and maybe I'm looking for something in a food bank. So now I've drilled down to specifically, I'm looking for food banks, and it's listed here. Here's the nearest one. You can see there's my distance there, 1.5 miles from this address that I originally entered. You can see that their name here is a hyperlink, and this is, it's kind of jumping ahead, but this is the page that every provider creates for themselves. Manny's going to show you an overview of how to create that page, but I want you to know that while you're looking at this, this is the information that you guys get to put in about your company. So if I click this hyperlink, it's going to open up their page that they created. And they actually haven't put in a whole lot of information. You have a lot of opportunity to add more, but here's their address, their website, telephone, contact information, services that they offer. This list can go on and on and on, depending on what they offer. There's a very extensive list, and Manny will show you that also. Here are directions to this location from our starting point, either by car, bus, walking, or biking. Again, these are pulled from Google Maps. I can print this out, or I can add it to my list, right? Kind of like an Amazon shopping list. So I'll add it to my list, and each site gives you these options. I can now change my starting point, right, to this address. Let's say I want to travel from point A to point B to point C. And you can see there that it's changed my starting point, right? So what they've done is they've really tried to design this always for the benefit of the end user, right? Our justice involved population. So they've given quite a few little avenues to make their day go easier. So I want to show you some of the other topics. Here we have government services. I'm just going to click in here. If they need to get identification, social security card, veteran services, let's click in identification, take a look there real quick. So under ID, we specifically drew down to get a driver's license, get a photo ID, a green card, passport. So if you click in these, what it does is it shows you which locations can help with that. Right, there's DMVs. Let's say I want to go to the DMV. I'll add this to my list. Okay, so here's another great thing about this program. I have quick click buttons. I can go right back to my home page. I can go back one level, right? Let's go back to our home page. Back one level. And remember, this ribbon stays constant throughout the whole experience. If I had chosen Spanish, because I speak a little bit of Spanish, but realized somewhere in the process, it's not really that good, I can always switch back and forth, right? So I could switch everything back and forth. And you can see everything's now in Spanish. We will have other languages available, but right now it's just the two, English and Spanish. Let's say, for example, I know what I need, but I don't know where to find it in all of these categories. We have a search button with keywords. And you guys, you're welcome to ask questions, slow me down. If you want to see something more in depth, please let me know. I'm happy to do whatever you guys want to navigate in here. So I determine first, is it a resource or a form? Let's say I'm looking for a resource. I'm specifically looking for loaves and fishes. And then I can click search. And because they are a provider that's created a page in here, I'm able to find them. So if I click on their page, and you can see that they have listed quite a bit of their information. This is the page that Loaves and Fishes has created for itself. Here's the services that they offer, right? And it does ask you specifically for gender. If it were male only, it would say male. Female only would say female. Here's all. Their services are free, right? So it's a quick look to see what it is.
Kelly?
Yeah.
Quick question.
Sure.
Because I know they have to have a CDCR number. Is that something that we can get access to if we need to search? Because I'll have clients come in and they don't have a clue. So is there any way we can do that?
Yeah, Rita, that's a great question. Thanks so much for asking. And Manny's going to put in the a dummy username and password for you guys to use. So that, and what I hope is when we're done with this, number one, I hope you all go and request an account. And number two, please use the dummy sign in and play around with this. I'm trying to show you how easy it is, that you can just navigate and play around. And if you don't know what you're doing, just click the home button and go back to start. It's real simple. So those are the two takeaways. I'm going to show you a couple more things in here, but please request an account if you're a service provider, and two, play with it, see what it's all about. Okay, for example, what's new? This is a great place where we're going to post live reports and articles from the governor's office or anything that the justice involved community could benefit from. Maybe it'll be COVID information. So these will be current articles, forms and documents. I want to show you real quick.
So,
let's go
Kelly,
back.
for something like what's new, I know you guys just had a function you guys were just talking about. That might be something that you could post here for what's new. I don't know. I don't remember the name that you were calling it, but you just had a function, and that's possibly something that could be in what's new. And you can communicate with us. I think we have the arcade support, and we can actually post stuff if it's appropriate to the what's new.
Right. So this really is all about providers like yourself keeping it active and current. So we encourage you, send us your articles, and now I'm going to show you about jobs. If you have jobs that you want to post, we have an area for that too. So here we are back on our home page. Oh, I just want to show you forms and documents real quick. So these are the forms directly from the government websites. For example, identification, choose your stronger language. And these are the forms. You have to print them, right? We can view them, but they're not PDF fillable. And part of that is Arcade does not store any user information or browser history, right? It's private. What they individually look at, we don't keep a record of. Therefore, we don't have PDF fillable forms. So they can choose a form and print it. Okay. And then also we encourage you guys, especially our re-entry services, if there are forms and things that you don't see on here that would benefit this population, please let us know. We are always looking to improve what we offer. Okay, now let's look at jobs, my favorite section. If you click find jobs, there's two areas, service provider jobs and personalized job search. Service provider jobs, these are providers like you that are targeting our justice involved community, and you're providing a job posting knowing who's going to be applying, right? This one, Arcade has a relationship with jobs.com and monster.com, and these are live current job postings. Okay, so we've broken them down into categories. We've taken the live postings and we've categorized it these different ways that may be recognizable to our justice involved community, either by job assignment, category, certifications, right? Our badass Lisa said she got a welding certificate. So she may be looking specifically for a welding certification. I'll just click in here real quick and show you what that looks like. So you may recognize this, American Welding Society. If we click that, it's divided into the two categories. We need to pick our area. We can pick specific by city, zip code, or even all of California, right? So this would even be down in San Diego, which is my hometown, by the way, Lisa. So we'll choose Sacramento. And now you can see these are the live jobs postings for MIG welding specific. The other great thing, and we use this for our in-prison population, when we allow them this access, they can take these job postings and they can also see what's required to get this job once they're out, right? So now they know what they need to work towards. They can see these are the requirements and these are the certifications they'll need. So it's a great way for them to be able to focus their time and energy in acquiring the certificate and the skills that they want so that they are more hireable immediately, right? Okay, so I want to stress that these are live current postings. And let me just go back a little bit and show you the other categories. Boop. Okay, so job assignment. Again, these are assignment titles recognizable by our population. So we'll say Baker. I'll say all of California just to show you the broad range of it. And here we have the current postings. Okay, again, responsibilities and accountabilities, if these are requirements that they need. Education, and so on. So I love this because it's already preparing them to be hireable as quickly as possible, right? To integrate as quickly as possible. I'm gonna click this home button. Do you guys want to see anything else in the jobs category before I click out of here? No? Okay. Also, we have keywords. So again, if they're not sure which category it may fall in, they can type in a keyword here. Right, I'm not sure if there's anything under this one. But again, it may be a title they're familiar with. So here we have coffee roaster here in San Francisco. Okay, so we've given a lot of categories and breakdown in hopes that they will find exactly what they're looking for. So I'm going to click the home button It takes me back. And the last thing I want to show you real quick is this My List. So remember, we added these service providers to My List, kind of like that Amazon shopping list. And now I can do this. I can print it in best order, which means radiating out from this address, right? Going out. That'll be this order. I can print location details, directions, map, or all three. I can also change this order, right? I can move this one down one, and then I can print in the order that I've selected or remove it completely. So if I click that, again, it asks me all the details, what do I want to print? And I can carry on with my day. And when I log out, yes, log me out, there's a quick survey that we ask them to take, and it's basically their feedback on how well this worked for them. Again, we're always looking to improve. We're always looking for more providers. And so every feedback helps. And then once they log out, that comes directly to us, and then they're done. Hey, any questions on the user interface? Anything you want to see? Pretty simple, right? I love the simplicity of this, and the more providers we can get in there, obviously, the more resources our community has. So what Manny's going to show you now is how to set up your portal page. So Danny, for example, you have an amazing sounding organization. I would love to see you in here. So Manny's going to show you how to request an account and then how to set it up. Okay. All right, Manny, take it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, so what I'm going to show you now is what we call the arcade portal. This is basically the other side of the coin. So what you just saw was the user interface. This is where the user goes to find services. The arcade portal, on the other hand, serves two purposes. It helps administrators like me update the arcade system, and it also creates a portal for the service providers to come in and create service provider pages.
Hey,
So
Manny, I think Kelly has to give you the screen, or you're not showing your screen yet, Manny.
Yeah, I'm about, yeah.
Okay.
So here I have the arcade portal. Before I get started, I wanted to note that in the chat box, I have posted a few things. One of them is the arcade support box email. The second is the URL for the arcade portal. The third thing is the URL for the arcade user interface and a login that everyone can use to go in and explore the system. So as a new service provider, you would come to the arcade portal, and the first thing you would do is scroll to the bottom and request an account. Now, this is a simple process to request an account. It's populated with my information right now, so I'll go ahead and delete that. You put in your email address. I'm just going to put a generic email address for now. You type in a password. Oh, don't type in. Then you select your account type. At this point, it's important to select service provider as your account type. Here we add in more information. You put in your own information. Name of your organization, and anything with an asterisk is mandatory. You have to put in an address because Arcade, as you saw, is a location-based system. So I will use our office address. and then you click Create Account. Once you submit a request for an account, our admin has about 3 business days to approve or deny. If there ever is a denial, we give an explanation why. Normally, it's some sort of clerical error. But once you do have an account, you can come to the Arcade portal, use your email address and password to log in. Once you log in, we come to the dashboard. And what I'm going to show you now is how to create a service provider location. You don't need to take notes. We have detailed instructions and snippets that we can provide you. You can request it at by emailing the Arcade support box. So in this case, we're going to show you how to create a service provider location. And once the location is published, it's actually live on the user interface. So in this case, we'll click on Service Providers, Service Provider Location, and then click Create Service Provider Location. And from here, it's a simple 4-step process to create a service provider location. Again, everything with an asterisk is mandatory. Here you could put in your company's description. Got the county. You have the option to put in a provider packet. This could be anything from a media kit to a brochure in a PDF format. You also have the option to upload a logo. Then you can also select service search keywords. So whether your organization is county funded, whether it's a nonprofit, you can select all that apply. So the next step is to put in your company location. And Arcade is a location-based system. And so this part is mandatory. You have to have a physical address. And if your location is the same as your mailing address, you can go ahead and click here. Now we have more provider information. You can put in your company's website, public phone, public email, fax number, the information for the point of contact. You can add in your business hours by day. You can also add in on-call hours in case you're available off business hours, but you're on call. Click Next. And here we have more service provider details. Again, this part isn't mandatory, but again, the more information you put in, the better. You could put in your corporate ID, better business rating. And once we're all done, we can review and submit. Now, in this page, we're able to kind of scroll down and see everything that we've put in. We have the option to edit and make changes. And again, we click Submit if we like everything we see. Now we are in the draft status. So once we get to the draft status, it's important to scroll to the bottom and click on this button here called Managed Services. Managed Services is really important because this gives the service provider a list of services that they can choose from. Basically, everything that they provide, they can select on this list. It's a very extensive list. And this is actually how the Arcade user interface is able to map your service provider location through the icons. So it's very important to select the services that your service provider has. It's a very large page, so it takes a second for it to load. So I apologize for that. Here we are. So this is the managed services page. And as I scroll down, second here, you see there's a very extensive list, everything from anger management to AA services. Let me give it a second to load. It's a very extensive list. And again, if something isn't here, you can contact the arcade support box and we can help add more services to this list. But after you select all the services that your service provider location provides, you can go ahead and click Save Changes. Takes a moment here. Oh, also, I almost forgot. You have the option to choose whether your service provider location has services that are related to parole, that are related to probation, whether it's a free service or whether it's gender specific. So you can also add that here at this time. You see the radio boxes here. So I'll go ahead and save changes. It takes just a moment for it to load. This is a rather large page, so it takes a moment. So now it's saving the changes. And now I'm still in draft, but the services that I selected, in this case, I selected AA services, are now available. And I can click Submit for Review. So once we do submit for review, we give our admin 3 days to approve or deny. If there is a denial, we explain why. But once it is approved and published, it is live on the arcade user interface. So it's live for the end users to look up and use. And again, just as with the user interface, when you log out of the arcade portal, let me actually move this dialog box here. When you log out of the arcade portal, you are given a survey. This is how we get feedback. So we encourage everyone who uses the portal to fill out the survey and tell us what they think of the system and how we can improve it in the future. So that's basically the arcade portal. Again, if you need snippets and directions, we have that available. If you just email the arcade support box, what I'm going to do is put up the arcade support box email address, which is arcadesupport@cdcr.ca.gov. That's where you would email for any and all arcade related questions. I also have the URL for the portal and the URL for the arcade user interface and a dummy login. I also posted this in the chat box.
So Manny, we also have a poster. We can actually provide that external poster to them as well. If they wanted to post something up in their facilities. Again, we're providing it in a digital format. If you wanted to print it in whatever size, I know we've printed it like I don't think it was 20 by 30, but it was like, I don't know, but it was larger than 8.5 by 11. But you can just paint it. You can print it 8.5 by 11 and have it there as well for information. And that poster will actually give you the information on how to log in. And it'll actually give you that code that you, what do you call that code, Manny, that you
QR code.
The QR code, yeah. The QR code will take you directly to the arcade user interface page.
Yeah. Some other things I want to say for thank you, Manny, and and if there's any questions on the because I want to talk about a little bit about more of the UI a little bit, and then I think that's all we have for today. But are there any questions on the portal?
Hey, everyone, this is Jennifer Swoboda. I'm the parole agent 2 specialist for Orange County. And just really quickly, in terms of parolees who classify themselves as transgender, are you going to add that selection? And then I also just want to put in a plug. I know you said you were going to add more languages, but Vietnamese would be really helpful for Orange County.
Yeah, so we are working on, and again, we are working on the transgender and identifying those type of, we are working on expanding that. So when we originally started this, it was not as prevalent as it is now, or I don't know if prevalence is the right word, but we are working on providing that for that. And
Okay, thank you.
What was the other question, Jennifer?
Oh, the other, I know, I think it was Kelly mentioned that languages are getting added, but I know for Orange County specifically, Vietnamese would definitely be needed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Jeff, I have a question.
Yes.
So what are the chances of arcade being accessible before via like a kiosk in the facilities?
So that's actually what I was going to go to with the in-prison part of this. So there's a thing called the learning network within the prison. We call it the inmate network, the learning network. It is fully accessible within that learning network within the prisons. So anybody who has access through a career technical education or academic classes, there's actually a icon on their learning network that will actually will push this to the UI of the system. There's also in the libraries, in every law library, I would say, and I think every library, there is a desktop that actually has the arcade icon. So we originally had 13 institutions with kiosks in it. It was actually a kiosk. It looked like an arcade machine, to tell you the truth. And they're 400-pound, but they were very hard to keep updated, and they were standalone computers. So they were really hard to update. They were really hard to take care of. We've converted to a internet-based system now. So everything is through the internet. So anywhere you have access to the internet, you have access to the arcade UI. Now, being in prison, you don't have access to the internet per se. However, there are ways to get to the internet through the learning network, through this, the law library desktop computers that are in there. Our librarians have been fully trained on arcade, as well as our transition teachers that are out there. And we've spoke to the community transition program, so the CTPs within DAPO, the PSAs, we just gave a presentation to them last week. There's a reentry, the RRSs, or RRCs. Jennifer might know more about that, but we gave a presentation to these DAPO reentry facilities that are outside in the community as well. So again, we're trying to market this. We're trying to give word of mouth. We're trying to get everybody involved. And I think that's how Megan, I think we had we gave a presentation to all the standing providers that have a contract or a subcontract through a STOP program. We've presented through those organizations as well. And we're continuing to present as much as possible. Again, we love the opportunity to do this here and provide this information out there. But again, it is very accessible within the prison.
Awesome. Thank
That's
you.
good news.
Danny, you have a question?
Yeah, I got a question. I work with a lot of the homeless population, and is this only available to people on probation or parole? Because I mean, I have a lot of veterans. I have a just homeless population that's not on probation, that's not on parole. But I applaud you guys big time for this.
Yeah.
This is an amazing resource for this just solves a lot of problems.
So
it's great.
So what originally paid for and still pays for this is it's the funding we received through state funding we received 3 or 4 this justice involved population. So at the moment, you do need an active well, I don't want to say active, because if you're on parole, even if we aren't taking CDCR numbers out of the system. So if they have a CDCR number anytime within the last 10 or 15 years, they're going to be in arcade. Now, that doesn't mean you can't share the CDCR bound 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, date of birth, and everything with because these aren't specific to justice involved services, right? There's homeless services throughout. Loaves and Fishes isn't just doing justice involved. We happen to have we provide services or provide that connection there. So we're only really trying to provide a connection or a tool or some way of providing that nexus to finding out the services out there, right? So there are ways around it if we're sharing these numbers out there, and if you wanted to keep it and say, hey, you can provide that to whoever.
Okay, and then can they put in their probation number? Or is it just punching in a CDC number?
It's state funded, so it's the CDCR number. However, I'm guessing because my data unit, my counterpart at CDCR is the data person for rehabilitation, and half the people that are releasing into community are PRCSs, and they are probation, and they have an active CDCR number. So,
okay.
However, the population that just goes straight to probation and they don't have a CDCR number, that will not work.
Okay. Yeah, that's amazing. I applaud you guys big time. That's super important and super needed. Just a one-stop thing that we can get online and help a lot of people. That's great. I look forward to working with you.
Good.
Thanks, Jimmy. Looking forward to your request for an account too.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, it's great. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you guys. And remember, it's only going to work if we as community providers sign up. So, and we're updating our information and adding, our services and things like that to the community, because right now there's not a lot of services available in Orange County if you go on. So we as the community providers need to request, to become a service provider. So I just want to encourage all of you to do that, and to it's only going to work by word of mouth. So continue to the community providers that weren't able to attend today. If you run into them at other, networking events, please make sure that you mention this to them and ask them, and feel free to reach out to me, and I can also connect them with the team. So again, I think this is a great tool, and I really want us to make sure that we can all collectively come together and collaborate to make this a really, robust tool, what it's intended to be. So, yeah.
Thanks, Megan.
Of course. Thank you so much for a great presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and we are a few minutes over, but I don't have too much more to share, just a few more updates. We were super excited middle of this month. We were able to go inside Thea Lacey facility. Thank you to Melody and Dominic and Assistant Sheriff Alecki and Park for making that happen. And so, Paul went into the Tay and Humvee pod, and then Susan and I went into the Back on Track program and spoke with the women. So it was really exciting, eye-opening. My brain was finally firing off on all cylinders, trying to figure out how we could really just try to continually improve, besides just bringing the message of hope, which is really what we're trying to do, and let them know that, hey, you can be on the other side. You can transition back into the community successfully. We were, I just feel very blessed and very grateful. So yay, I got more people to add to the flyer that we're passing out inside. So thank you to everyone who filled out the survey. Again, it's because this is the information that's being presented to them. I don't want to put services that are maybe on your website that are old and things like that. And it also shows a level of commitment. So this was round one of the flyer, which it's a trifold, so it's back, it's front and back. So this was the first round of the individuals that had sent me their information. So now, before we go back in next month, we're going back in on the 15th and 16th. And they're both going to be back on track programs, one with the men, one with the women. And so, yeah, so I'm going to make sure I add everyone's new information to this, to the flyer. So again, thank you so much. So one thing that I wanted to plug was, and I'm going to butcher this because I do not speak Spanish very well, but one of our community providers, I know Miriam, they're hiring a marketing coordinator and also an office assistant. So I wanted to do that plug. So if you know anyone that's looking for a job, and they're, you know, friendly with backgrounds, of course. The other thing is that Carol Urey, who is not on here today, wanted to put a request out to the group, and I will make sure that I include the letter in the meeting recap for helping understand what level of communication is available within the facilities, the correctional facilities, and how important it is for them to be able to connect to friends and family, and being able to provide that at low or no cost. And so if that had any impact. So looking for people with lived experience to share their story about just staying connected to the family is really important. So that's something that she's wanting. So I will send that out. And then if you want to, if you know anyone that wants to share their story, please feel free. Geo Group, who I know they had a meeting, they weren't able to be on here. They have their resource meeting that they do. I believe it's the third Wednesday of every month that you can present to their clients. And then lastly, I wanted to do another shout out to the Freedom Festival. These were only the pictures that I took. I didn't have the other pictures. So, you know, again, thank you to Lisa. This was your idea and it came to fruition. I'm sure it was a very emotional day. Just emotional day for me to see this happening in Orange County, and a lot of people on this call or in this meeting were a part of it. So it was just super beautiful. And again, thank you so much, Jennifer and Agent Talwar. This was a really beautiful experience and celebration, and so I can't wait for the second year, next year, for that to come, and you know, helping to hopefully help, you know, collaborate in whatever way we can. And then another plug for Agent Sabota, the PAC meeting is November 10th at the Streetlight Church. If you guys as providers haven't been yet, it's awesome. They give you food, you know, all the providers are there. So I would encourage you, if you haven't gone and shared your services, to do so, and to just experience it. It's a beautiful experience, and being able to meet Pastor Santos too. He's a really cool guy. So not too much over, so that's great. So thank you all for your support. I know that with, you know, 2021 was like, you know, we were still trying to come out of COVID. We're kind of like going back and forth. But I mean, the biggest thing was, you know, we didn't let COVID bring us down. We just kept going, kept meeting, being able to continue to provide our services. So I want to give you all like a round of applause for all that you're still doing for the community, and not letting, you know, COVID get you down, and that you keep doing what you're doing. So thank you so much. Because it's the holidays, we all hopefully get a chance to eat, have fun, you know, spend time with our families, and have some time to rest and recharge. So we won't be meeting in November or December, because the last Wednesday of every month is pretty close to Thanksgiving and Christmas. So we all, I get a break, yay. So yeah, so our next meeting is going to be Wednesday, January 26th, which Lisa said that was her release date. So very kind of
Yeah.
Coincidental, I guess.
Yeah.
So thank you all for joining us today, and I really hope you have a beautiful, rest of the year. Please continue to send things out to me that you want me to push out to the community. I won't be dead those 2 months, I promise. I'll still post things. I'm still going to send little trickles out, just to kind of, make sure you guys all know I'm alive. And please feel free to just reach out to me. I appreciate you all. And so thank you so much. This isn't possible without you. And thank you to Lisa, our beautiful ROI speaker. You are why we do what we do. So thank you for making that choice. And then to the whole Arcade CDCR team, thank you so much for a wonderful presentation. And we all are gonna go create logins here, request an account here. So thank you so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day and happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Megan. Thank you so much, Lisa. And thank you, everybody. That was
Hope
amazing.
to see you guys soon.
We'll see you soon.
Thank
Happy
you.
holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Bye-bye.
Happy holidays. See you guys next time.